Oh yeah, welcome to How Can She
Snap.
This is the Marvel Snap podcast dedicated to the filthy casual. I'm the kid, one half of the Super Snap Bros, here with my brother from the same mother, Mr.
MBD.
No big deal. He's got a new shirt. Nice shirt, no big deal. Look at that. Look at that.
How can she snap?
You got the How Can She Snap merch, baby. Not for sale. It's exclusive.
merch.
We got no guest today. Our guest, unfortunately, got caught up with work. Real life stuff takes precedence over stupid podcasts with us.
True.
So we're going to have him back at a different date. So you guys are going to have to bear with us. Just the old Super Snap Bros together here. We got a nice episode. We're doing it a bit early. The kid's going to Mexico soon, so he's going to be pretty drunk on the beach soon. So, we're doing it pre-OTA. We're going to give our takes on what we think some cards that need to be changed. We thought of some cards, and we thought of some more, and we have a big laundry list of cards we each made. we might take a while on this one. We're going to go over White Widow, the new junk card that's kind of taking the meta by storm here. And then we're going to talk a little bit about clans, maybe a little filthy casual clan, if you will. Just if you guys hadn't noticed last time, we got a new intro. Thanos is going to kill one of the Super Snap Bros every week, or both of us. Feel free to guess in the comments or comment who you want Thanos to kill. Either way, it'll be funny. It'll be random otherwise. Let's get it. All right, no big deal. How the heck are you, man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I think the Snap meta's fun right now. I'm having a lot of fun playing Snap right now. It's obviously Junk City, but I think just in general, like even before White Widow came out, I think the meta was in a really good spot. People kind of figured out how to combat the Hella decks. And so, basically just play Junk, play Darkhawk, this bullshit, and, it messes with the Hella stuff. So it's just it's a wide plethora of all kinds of stuff you can play, and it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm having a lot of fun playing Snap too, and Junk's just fun, man. It's just a great time.
Junk is great. I've always loved Junk. You're right. The meta is in an awesome spot actually, because we're recording Wednesday, so it's like one day into White Widow nonsense. So every time there's a new card, there's going to be a lot of, especially a card that elevates Junk. There's going to be a lot of mirror matches, a lot of Junk matches, and then there's going to be a lot of Destroy too. So we're seeing a lot of that over the day, but there's other stuff as well. People are getting innovative, which is pretty fun. Mm-hmm. But even like before White Widow release, like you said, the meta is pretty awesome because a lot of people started playing like Prof X kind of decks, so like that kind of crushes the combo kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Especially like Cannonball kind of Junk combo that kind of messes with Hella pretty significantly. You got your little Angela stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. So you could pretty much play. There's a lot of decks you can play right now. It's really, really fun. Mm-hmm. I kind of agree with you, man. I've been playing like literally a little bit of everything. I played like so much stuff this last week. So, and it's been really fun. I have played my fair share of Junk, and really enjoying the card Cannonball this last week too. He's
so sick. He's so fun, man.
He's such a fun card.
He feels like old Arrow. Like he has the same feeling, the same satisfaction I used to get from old Arrow. I feel like I get from Cannonball, and if anything, it's not as good, but it's more fun because the animation too, right? Like when you turn it into a rock, it's just so sick. Like there's just a lot of even nobody's mad when they get beat by Cannonball. At least right now, maybe in a couple weeks they will start getting sick of this card. But I'm getting a lot of like positive emotes, like a lot of people do, like they're playing Junk. Obviously, I'm playing Junk, but if I win with Cannonball, they'll do like Spider-Man point. Like everyone's having fun with it. It's like you don't feel like salty like you did when Galactus blows up your shit or Eliath blows your shit up, and you just feel sad. And I don't know, it feels like just good fun, and just a nice kind of boss card, new addition to Marvel Snap. And he's a great time.
He is a great time, and he's good too. I mean, so one thing I've been doing, like when I first started playing Cannonball, I was just kind of like willy nilly, just whatever, YOLO Cannonball, having a blast. He's bumping things around. I'm winning sometimes, I'm not winning sometimes. Now I'm starting to see him a little bit more. He's starting to become a little more prevalent. Mm-hmm. So now I'm actually starting to like look at something. Okay, it's a Junk deck. All right, they're going to Cannonball me. Now I'm starting to play around it a little bit more, which is interesting, which I kind of love. And then even when I have Cannonball in my deck, I'm starting to realize like, all right, I need to throw priority,
Mm.
like, because if they have cannibal or whatever they have, like most of the time I need to throw priority, especially if it's a mirror match. You have to throw priority. If it's not a mirror match, a lot of times you're going to win the lane just by knocking their big one out of there or destroying whatever they have in there. Especially if you lock down the other lane with like Prof X. But yeah, I'm noticing now that I'm like more cognizant of, okay, I got to just throw priority here. Let them throw their little sentry and their stuff over to my lane. That's fine. I'll win the Prof X lane, and they're just the cannonball will own them. And have you ever had like the double cannonballs, or like that you've thrown priority and they cannonball and you're like, haha, gotcha, bitch.
Oh
You
yeah,
cannonball.
or just the throw
And then you just
prio
win.
Annie too, right? Throw prio
Yeah,
into definitely my Annihilus resolves last, and so
yeah,
that void is going to be on your side, or it's dead, So
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
there's throw prio cannibal, throw prio Annihilus, and there's this card in the game that makes you throw prio every single time that nobody's playing, and we'll get into that in a bit. So it's a little bit of
That's
spice
great.
that nobody's playing right now because they forgot about it, because Eliath used to just shit all over that card. So
Yeah.
he's out here. I'm not seeing him anywhere except in my own deck that I'm playing.
To be fair, the card is invisible. It is
Yeah,
a
that's true.
phantasmal, if you will.
John Cena.
Yeah, that's it. You can't see me. Da, 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 da. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, and honestly, like I'm kind of liking the Cannonball mind games.
Mhm.
They've been a lot of fun. Also playing a good amount of Pixie. Pixie's pretty good right now.
Yeah,
Pixie's pretty sick.
which is crazy. Which is crazy. I can't believe that. Shout out to
Yeah,
Spyro, man. I don't know if he originated this deck, but a lot of people have been cooking Pixie decks, and I mean this thing. I just recently like purchased the Untapped. I know you've had it, and I've used your account a little bit, but I
yeah,
just bought my own Untapped. Support the cause. Got to support Marvel Snap, and yeah, like this Spyro Pixie deck's one of the best decks in the game. It's still, even to this day, and it
yeah.
has Lady Deathstrike in it. Lady Deathstrike's awesome against junk, and the deck's just sick. Being able to play Sentry Annihilus on the last turn, like just that alone, one of those cards just needs to get flipped, and you could now play Sentry Annihilus in the same turn. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah. No, it's wild. I got really, like, I think it says last week, but I got lucky one of the games and had Sentry and Annihilus as one energy cards.
Mhm.
So like there was like one cost each, and it was like it was filthy. It's filthy. And Pixie, like, maybe we'll talk about it when we get into the OTA stuff, but like I still kind of want her to get changed, maybe because it's selfish. Like I want her to be buffed a little bit, but I don't know. Like she's really good, so maybe a 2/1's pretty good. Like maybe it's
I
good
think
enough
she's
for
in a
her.
good spot. I like where she's
I,
at now, personally.
So do
Um,
I. I know
yeah,
I would love her to be cheaper, but yeah, I think she's probably in a good spot though. The
yeah.
way everything's shaking out now. Um, but yeah, we'll get into some of our decks a little bit later that we've been playing. But let's talk about White Widow. Card's been out for a little over 24 hours now.
Mhm.
You got it, I got it. How'd your spotlight rolls go?
I had to roll 4.
Ah, I mean that's just the way the cookie crumbles
Yeah,
sometimes.
but it's
But
okay. I wanted the Nico variant. I mean, this Nico variant's gorgeous. I was hoping to at least get it in 3 to skip the Snow Guard one, because even though I don't have a Snow Guard variant, I don't love this one. This Max Grek. I like some of his, but yeah, I like the Snow Guard one where she's holding her hands up and there's like the circles around her hands.
oh yeah,
She's kind of holding her hands out to the side like a
oh
T
that's
pose.
the anime one.
Yeah, I love that one. I think it's gorgeous. So if I was ever going to get a Snow Guard variant, but at least now I have a Snow Guard variant. But yeah, I would have liked to at least get it in 3 rolls with the Nico. That would have been like, I would have been happy with that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so that was me last week. I had the Red Guardian on cache number 4
Mhm.
and tokens on cache number 1. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, it is what it is. But
Mhm.
this week, the kid came out with the God rolls of all rolls.
Yeah.
Now I've been saying for probably months now
Mhm.
that whenever this Nico variant comes out, I'm rolling for the Nico variant because I specifically have not bought one Nico variant or done anything because I've been waiting for this one specifically
Mhm.
because I think it's beautiful. I love it.
Mhm.
Now, so I went to the mindset of this week. I'm like, all right, I'm going to probably spend 4 keys to get White Widow and the Nico variant because I'm like, those are the 2 that I need. First roll, White Widow. All right, get White Widow. So I'm like, damn it. I'm like, I really want the Nico variant. Like, I have to go for it. I've been saying for months I go for it. Second one, Nico variant. I'm like, let's
Yeah.
go. It's like the god roll of rolls.
Yeah.
This hasn't happened to me ever. Like, I've never had it like in two where I've wanted two things. So
Mhm.
I got very, very lucky this week. Like I said, last week I got, Red Guardian 4. So
Mhm.
it all evens out. And US Agent I got in 0, so that was good.
Yeah,
Because I
same,
didn't
same
because I
here. Yeah.
didn't buy him. It's still not in my collection.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, anyways, enough of the stupidity. What do you think about this card, man?
I think she's great. I mean, I think she's definitely like quote unquote junk power creep.
Yeah.
But it's probably, if I had to guess, I would say junk's second best card next to Annihilus.
Yeah.
If I had to rank junk cards,
Mm-hmm.
but who knows? I mean, you call Prof X a junk card. You call Cannonball. Is Cannonball better than her? Cannonball can win you the game. Who knows? But just feels like really oppressive. Very low. An investment. Like it feels very easy to just play her out on two. You could play her into whatever lane you want. You got a Nebula somewhere else. You play her somewhere else. Then you play a Sentry. So I find just playing her in either left or middle always. Just no need to play her in the right lane because they're gonna want to clog their right lane because of Sentry Nihilus. So yeah, I mean it just feels very oppressive. Of course, in the hot location right now, which is White Widow meta. Just that this is the White Widow hot location. It's going to be all junk and destroy decks. So like all the conventional wisdom kind of goes out the window, and you just have to like deal with mirror matches and destroy decks. So it's a bit of a different meta. But when the dust finally settles, I think she's going to be a really really good card in junk.
Yeah, so I feel the same way as you. I'm kind of going to echo a little bit of your sentiment here. Like,
Mhm.
I think that she is right now in this wild meta. Like, you can't. It's very hard to evaluate a card like this because like Red Hulk's easy because Red Hulk goes in every single type of deck.
Yeah.
This is more of a niche kind of card where I guess it could be a little bit more global, but not as much as like Red Hulk.
Mhm.
This is a card that mostly goes into like disruption junk type of decks, right?
Yeah.
And so she's out right now. Everyone's getting her, and all you're doing is playing mirrors or counters. And even though you're playing mirrors and counters all day on the ladder,
Mhm.
she's still pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So it is hard to evaluate her, but in like a couple weeks, dude, she's gonna be way better. I think.
Mhm.
I think she's when there's like less destroy everywhere and mirrors everywhere. I think she's gonna be feel way better, and she feels pretty damn good right now. You know, so I love this card. I haven't played her in a bounce shell yet. I want to try that.
Mhm.
Which is pretty damn annoying. I got a Luke's bar game in with her, so that was fun.
Mhm.
Just shoving White Widow
Yeah.
stuff over there. And then I haven't got the space thrown her yet. That'd be fun.
No, I haven't got
But
Space Throne or Bar Sinister yet, personally.
yeah, but yeah, with the hot location, it's just a freaking free for all out here.
Mhm.
And just everyone's playing destroy or junk, and it's like, how can you evaluate this card when everyone's doing the same shit? You really can't. But she feels good. I
Yeah,
love it.
she still feels useful even in those matchups. I'd say especially in the mirror, like getting the White Widow and your opponent didn't get it. You kind of can control the match in the mirror. Destroy is obviously a lot trickier. Destroy like is the counter to junk, so it is what it is, and it's nothing wrong with that. It's not, you have one horrible matchup. If you want to be a hero, you could put armor in your deck to try to have that as a playable matchup, or just not bother and just retreat. But yeah, it is interesting because I wonder what she'll be like into like literally every other kind of deck, because I think she'll be unbelievable into every deck. That's not a deck that has either Annihilus or like Carnage in it.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Yeah.
And I wonder if in the future she's just going to be a nice like 2-drop that you might just want to like pepper in, even like not a clog deck,
Mhm.
because she's still pretty good. She's still like 2/6 stats that takes up a spot on your opponent's side and is very annoying.
Mhm.
Like, you have to clog. I want to. One thing I want to try is put Mojo in a deck with her. I haven't done that yet.
Mhm.
I want to see how the card Mojo does, because she might do better because they have to clog the lane, and so Mojo can
Yeah.
shine here.
Yeah, yeah, that should be easy mojo to get off for sure. And another thing, I mean, now that you're talking about it, I haven't seen anybody, myself included, try her in just lockdown. Like of course, a lot of people are playing her with Prof X, but I haven't seen Storm. How about Storm White Widow? Like, or you just play the White Widow somewhere else, then you storm, then sentry on the storm lane or something. So, some stuff like that would be really good with her, I think.
Yeah, that's a good call. And actually, I just saw on Twitter maybe a couple hours ago, Ica posted a deck
Oh,
with
that's
Storm.
Storm.
Yeah, he's like, Storm's good with this card. He's like, this
Okay.
card's really good with Storm, especially.
Okay. Well, I didn't, think of that, but I
No, I know,
mean,
I know.
I would say like definitely copy Ika's deck because his decks are insane.
Yeah. He's the one that I saw, and he's obviously awesome. His decks are out. I play a lot of them, so they're really good.
Yeah.
He's cracked.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, that's definitely a good call. I haven't tried that personally either.
Mhm.
Because then you got the Storm with like Sentry, or you could play the White Widow too, right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of cool. Yeah, I like this card. What do you think about her compared to the other cards this month so far?
I mean, I think she's right there with Red Hulk. I think she's slight notch down because she's, like you said, a little more niche. And she's not just outright winning you the game. I mean, she's causing a lot of havoc on the board for sure. And I mean, she's an unbelievable two cross. Like, you compare her to all the other two drops, even and then like Jeff's in all these decks, but like even compared to Jeff, right? Just the power and oppressiveness that she has is like pretty crazy. Like, maybe like cards like Angela, Morbius, like these kind of cards can scale a lot higher. But I think she's just like a slight tick below Red Hulk in power level. Like,
Yeah.
if we're like rating out of 10, I would say Red Hulk's like a 10, and White
Yeah.
Widow's like an 8. I would say.
Yeah,
So,
I feel the same way. I feel like Red Hulk's probably. I mean, obviously it's early days with her. Like, maybe she gets more cracked later on if they nerf Red Hulk, or if they
mhm,
even maybe she just feels more cracked later on when there's
mhm,
not Destroy everywhere
mhm,
and Annihilus everywhere. But I agree. I think Red Hulk's probably still number one. I
mhm,
think she's probably number. She feels like number two right now.
mhm.
Red Guardian feels like number three right now. Um, Zemo to me feels like four, and U.S. Agent, I don't have him, and that's why he's number five.
Yeah, and I'm surprised because Zemo felt really good on release, and Zemo still feels like a pretty good
He's still
card.
good. I'm not
Yeah,
saying he's bad. It's just like comparatively, right? Like,
yeah. Red Guardian's like kind of popping off right now, and
I
man, this
know.
Red Guardian card is like pretty sick. Like, Red Guardian is much better than I expected. I'm just gonna throw that out there. Like,
Yeah,
I knew it. I think he'd be
yeah,
like a pretty good card, but he's like really useful like almost all the time.
yeah. And I feel like, though, I still feel like he's a card that like you don't need to get. Like, I
Oh,
want to
for
just be
sure. Yeah.
clear about that. Like, he's not a card that's like, oh man, you got to have this card. He's a card that's going to be in decks. That's probably like he's the optimal one.
Hmm.
And then like, but like if you ask someone like, oh, what do you replace Red Guardian with? There's an easy answer. Like, yeah, not a big deal. Deck, you can still play the deck like without, like, if you make an Annihilus deck, like if you don't have Annihilus, you can't play that deck.
Yes.
But all the decks that Red Guardian's in, there's replacements for them
Mhm.
easy. They just might not be as good, but still you can still play the deck. So he's like that kind of card where, yeah, man, he feels good. Like, just
Yeah.
he goes, just punches the other card, and just
Yeah.
minus two power, and like takes away their decks.
It's
Pretty sick.
awesome. Yeah, and to your point, like you look at a card like White Widow. I mean, you may as well not play junk if you're like you don't have White Widow. Like, you may as well just play a different archetype because like this is just an absolute staple in the junk archetype. I think. Like, I think you
Yeah.
start your deck with a Nihilist and then you put White Widow second, and like you go from there because I mean she's so sick in junk. Like, there's no reason not to play her in a junk deck.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, and she'll be one like you can play junk without her. There will be lists without her, but they'll be much worse because I
Yeah,
think she's that good for the archetype.
yeah,
She's kind of like Proxima to discard, or like Corvus to discard,
yes,
or something like that. Like a Proxima. Like
yeah.
you can still play discard without those cards.
Mhm.
They're just better with that card.
I agree. Yeah, it's
Kind of
exactly
like
like
that.
that. I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But
I like
yeah,
that they did that for junk. I think they've been pretty mean to junk over the last few months. Like,
fucking Viper,
yeah, the Viper nerf, like Galactus obviously got wrecked, and
Annihilus.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm saying they nerfed Annihilus
Yeah,
too. Even
Nihilus got a very weird nerf. Like, the part that nobody was using on the Nihilus, they nerfed the pure junk part, but the part where he was playing in every other deck, they kept that in, even though that was like clearly the broken part. So, junk's been a little bit forgotten by second dinner, I feel like, and left by the wayside. And so it's nice that they got a card like this now, And yeah, I mean, I think Junk's like super legit deck to be playing right now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and yeah, this is a fun card. I like it a lot.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, what kind of decks are you playing?
I mean, card just came out, right? So I've only
Yep,
played two decks so far. One is I like my deck. I like my spice here. And I've tried Cozy's Darkhawk deck too. And this is you're saying you didn't play with bounce. Cozy's deck is like a bounce Darkhawk White Widow kind of deck. Is
yeah.
this it on the screen right here? Yeah,
This is
yeah.
yours. This is yours. Do you
Okay.
want to go over cozies first?
Yeah, let's go over that because people have
All
probably
right.
seen it. I've seen it on the ladder. I've played some mirrors here. Um, this
So
deck's
have I.
pretty.
I didn't see Cozy's video, and I'm like, what the fuck is Darkhawk doing here? What are people
Yeah,
corging me for? I'm like, what the hell's going on?
yeah,
Now it makes sense. They're saying it's Cozy. I've been
yeah.
working the last couple of days. I didn't see the video.
Well, like I said, I just got untapped and I went to top infinite, and some of the top cards in the game, like top five, you'd be surprised. Rockslide Darkhawk are in there in like the top five win rate cards in all of Marvel Snap. And this is top 10% infinite, Darkhawk Rockslide, and of course Annihilus Sentry. So I mean, Cozy, he knows what he's doing. He's not just throwing random cards in here. Obviously, you got the Mockingbird in there. Like anyway, let's go over the deck. It's the Hood,
Yeah.
Korg, Beast, Carnage, White Widow, Black Widow, Debris, Rockslide, Sentry, Darkhawk, Annihilus, and Mockingbird. This deck's pretty sick, and I think the one thing I don't love about this deck is the Destroy matchup. Specifically, I mean, just I feel like you do kind of still get run over by Destroy. Your best game plan is you play a Korg, you bounce the Korg, you play a Rock Slide, you play a Black Widow. Destroy is, in essence, a combo deck. They need their combo pieces. So if you could just throw some rocks in their deck, get a Black Widow, you probably feel pretty good about beating them. But of course, like not all games happen where you just draw all your early curve out, and that's like not realistic. So I feel like you're like 30-70 against Destroy, but against every other deck, I mean, this is pretty sick. And I think Hooglin made something similar to this too, but he's playing Mysterio. And so like just more Mockingbird stuff. And maybe even like not Annihilus or something. But yeah, Hooglin had a similar kind of Darkhawk, White Widow deck as well. So, I mean, check out Jeff Hooglin, check out Cozy Channel. Obviously, awesome YouTube channel. So you want to check out some Snap content. But this deck's pretty cool. But the one thing I didn't love about it was the Destroy matchup specifically. But Darkhawk gets massive in this deck. Like I am 520 sometimes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. I've had him be like 518 against me a couple times. Like,
Mhm.
what the hell is Darkhawk doing right now?
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of crazy. So yeah, this deck looks kind of cool. I've never played the Beast stuff yet.
Mm-hmm.
I do want to get Degenerate and play it with White Widow soon. So I will eventually. It's only been one day, but like I said, I'm bringing my tablet to Mexico. I'm gonna have a margarita. I'm gonna play Snap on the beach. My wife's gonna
Yeah.
read a book, and I'm just gonna be a degen just doing that.
And I mean, just look at the beast targets in this deck, like the
I
Hood,
know.
Korg, White Widow, Black Widow, Debris. If you want to get crazy, Rock Slide obviously is like these are all like unbelievable targets for beast. So and
Yeah.
also just the night, like I think what Cozy was thinking was this is really good into the mirrors because you simply have Beast and Carnage. So if they're sending shit over, you have a way to eliminate all the junk on your board in Beast and Carnage and reuse these amazing effects, pump your Darkhawk like crazy, and just make their life miserable. So this is a really sick deck for junk mirrors and just in general, just into like other random matchups too. Because say you're playing like a Hella list, throwing rocks into a Hella deck is a really good thing to do. So
Yeah, even like your own void as well, right? Like you
yeah,
can Beast or Carnage your own void if you don't draw the Annihilus. There's two ways to get rid of it and
yeah.
still be able to compete for the right lane. In case you get cucked by RNG and draw luck. So
And
yeah,
also, just the card Mockingbird now is kind of interesting because it is the junk week, right? And so you don't even necessarily like. That's why I kind of like this list a little bit better than the Hooglin one because I don't think you need the Mysterio because people are just sending shit over anyway. Like if they play White Widow, like that's -1 on your Mockingbird. So
yeah,
and that's before you play your Debris or your Demon or anything. So
yeah.
like Mockingbird's just kind of like kind of cracked right now. I mean, she's already cracked, but like Thanos is out of the meta, but if people are sending shit over, like, hey man, that's a cheaper Mockingbird. That's pretty sick.
Yeah. All right. I wanna go on a little bit of a tangent here. It's a thought I've had for like the last couple of weeks, and and I keep forgetting to bring it up here, so I
Mhm.
want to just tangent off a little bit.
Yeah.
And then still it has to do with the meta and stuff, but I want to hear your thought on this too, because this is
Sure.
some thought I was having.
Mhm.
All these cards that we're saying, like, they keep releasing these fucking broken cards that are breaking the game, like Call Obsidian, Mockingbird.
Mhm.
Now that Thanos is nerfed,
Mhm.
they don't seem so bad,
No,
and the
definitely
cards
not.
haven't changed.
Yeah.
So it's like, were the cards broken themselves, or was it just Thanos that was just really, really oppressive?
Mhm.
What do you think? Do you think it was that? Like, I don't know.
I think in the case of Mockingbird, nerfing Thanos was a massive nerf to Mockingbird specifically.
Yeah.
Because that was the most reliable way to get her discounted, was just play Thanos stones. Because if you're not playing just Thanos stones, which there's 6 of them in your deck, and they draw each other, and Mind Stone draws you 2, which used to cost 1, so like pretty reliably you're getting Thanos stones. Like she's very, very, very reliably easy, 2 cost, 3 cost, she's out by turn 3 basically almost all the time. Other than that though, you need like a Squirrel Girl, or you need a Debris, or you need a Mysterio, and it's just any 2-card combo and Snap is just not super reliable. You can't really rely on that, especially early in the game, right? By turn 3 I need these 2 cards. It's just difficult to rely on that. Like you might get that 25-30% of the time or something like that. So I think just nerfing Thanos to Mockingbird specifically was like a massive nerf. I still think Call Obsidian's really good, but obviously not as good as he wasn't, because it's just curved out so perfectly in the Thanos list. And like, where are you going to play Call Obsidian? Like 1-drops still suck, right? So you're not going to play Zoo, right? So we have to jam him into a list somehow, and that's
what I mean. I mean, like we kept saying, like for weeks, we're like, they keep releasing these fucking broken cards, and like, what the hell are they doing? This power creep's bullshit. But was it just power creep, or was it just Thanos being ridiculous?
Well, I think
because they don't seem broken right now, right? Like they didn't change anything. Like I like maybe it's me just being ridiculous. Like, what do you think? Like,
no,
I don't feel like Mockingbird's a broken, busted ass fucking card. It's really, really good. Don't get me wrong. And I don't feel like Call Obsidian's like, oh man, this fucking card's ridiculous. Whereas I did when Thanos was like running the show.
Call Obsidian, I think Call Obsidian took 2 massive nerfs. Massive. Thanos, you just mentioned. The other one is Zabu. Zabu's huge for Call Obsidian too. Like all of the 4-drops. Like you have to play 4-drops so honestly right now. And that's why I think everyone's playing Sentry. Because like, well, it's like, at least it's a fucking 420. At least I still got 20 power out of my 4. But like, God, I don't even see too much Miss Marvel. I think she's still pretty good. But that's a 414. So like, if Miss Marvel's like barely making lists, like Shang-Chi, Sentry, maybe Miss Marvel, and like that's kind of fucking it, right? Like, what other 4-drops are we playing right now? Because Call Obsidian is just a 10. I don't know if 10 is enough for just 4 power anymore. So I think the Zabu nerf is really, really big on Call Obsidian. I still think he's a little bit overtuned, and I think he's a little bit overpowered still. And I think Mockingbird is definitely still one of the best cards in the game. Like if I did top 10 list, Mockingbird would be on it for sure, 100%. Actually top 5, honestly. And but Call Obsidian probably wouldn't, honestly. So I think with Call Obsidian, with Zabu and Thanos, maybe he's fine, because they're the kind of what they said in the Zabu paragraph. It's like, hey, before we could even evaluate all these 4-drops, which we know are like just ridiculous, we have to like neuter Zabu and just see which ones kind of like can survive, but like actually paying for cost for them. So I think Shang has for sure 100%. He's rocking and rolling right now.
Yeah, he's a 413 when you use him, so minimum.
He's still like 40% of meta, like good stats. And same with Mockingbird, by the way. Like I said, I just got on tap yesterday, so I was looking at this stuff. I was getting into the weeds. And Mockingbird's stats are still really good, even without Thanos. So as expected. So I still think she's broken, but not as broken. I wouldn't nerf her as hard now if I was going to nerf her. But we'll get to that later with the OTAs.
Oh, there we go. Yes. All right. Well, anyways, those are just my little shower thoughts that I was having last night. I keep forgetting to bring it up. I'm like, like they don't see the meta just seems great right now. I'm like not really mad at any one card. Like I'm not like there's not one card where I'm just like, man, I fucking hate this card. It's so oppressive. Red Hulk's the number one offender, but like even that is like maybe I'm just used to it now. I don't know, but
for me, if I had to sum up my opinion quicker, I would say I was way over here where these cards were way fucking busted, completely overpowered, like way too many stats. but I'm not all the way where you're at, where it's like, all right, we nerfed Thanos and now they're fine. I don't think they're fine. I think they're still a bit overtuned, both those cards.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like, I'm not like before. I'm like, these are just fucking broken cards. They're ridiculous, and I'm just like, I can't even think about how broken these are. Now I'm just like, they're good. They're good. So
Yeah.
anyways,
I think Mockingbird's crazy still. I think Call Obsidian not even nearly as bad. Actually, having to pay for and not having a busted ass Thanos deck to jam him into.
Yeah, no, Mockingbird is a sick card, kind of like this variant. So yeah, Cozy's deck looks fun. I mean, Darkhawk decks are always great. They're still good, even him being at 5. They're still good decks. Like,
I think that was
don't
an
get it twisted.
Awesome change to move him to 5. I thought they nailed that one.
Yeah,
like he's still really good, and it's not the same bullshit Zabu deck that everybody was playing. So it's really cool the way some people playing Darkhawk Pixie. Like there's a lot of cool creative ways. Like no one was doing this bounce stuff, and it's so powerful. It's such a good deck.
Yeah, it's great. Mm-hmm. All right, let's get into. You want to get into your spice?
Yeah. So we know at this point it's like the macro. We were talking about this in the DMs, kid, before White Widow came out, and it's almost like we've seen this movie so many times. The stars are aligning, okay? And here there's a few of them that had to align here. So number 1, we had U.S. Agent. Nobody bought U.S. Agent. Then we have Red Guardian. A few people bought them, but the majority of players did not pick up Red Guardian either. So people have been saving up their keys, and we know everybody's going to buy White Widow. Like they just are going to buy White Widow. We just know at this point. It's just how many times we got to go through the same cycle over and over again. The hot card, like everyone picked up Red Hulk, and now everyone picked up White Widow. And honestly, it's probably going to happen with Arasham too. Like even though he's so ridiculous, I think everyone's just going to want to play that card. But you got to have this White Widow card. So it's going to be hot locations, going to be all White Widow decks the second she comes out, and people who don't pick her up, because maybe when I say everyone, I'm talking like 50% of players. So the other 50% of players are just going to play Destroy because they actually want to play Marvel Snap. Because if they play something else, they're just going to get clogged and they're going to be sad. So, they have to play Destroy. They just have to. So if you go up on the ladder right now, I bet you like 80% chance it's either a junk deck or a Destroy deck. It's just every game. So it's junk, destroy, junk, destroy. So this is what I came up with as just day one, minute 1, and it's been crushing for me. I've climbed like 1,500 rank with this so far. So I've gone from like 5K to like 3,500 or something like that, or no less. Like I was like 6K to 45 or something like that. So it's the Hood, Nebula, Nico Minoru, White Widow, Armor, Jeff, Black Widow, Ghost, Sentry, Professor X, Annihilus, and Cannonball. So the idea is you play this card Ghost, and you always throw Prio, like you were saying. So Cannonball is always just a money shot, And if they're playing Annihilus, even if they're going to like, oh, I'm going to play a turn 6 Annihilus, you can kind of tell they're setting up for the turn 6 Annihilus. So what I'll do is I'll snap, and then I'll play like Ghost Jeff on 5, So you hold the Ghost till turn 5, and then you play like, Ghost Jeff or, White Widow Ghost, something like that on turn 5. And it's like, what the hell? Like somebody snaps and plays Ghost on you on turn 5. Like, what do you even do at that point? So most people just stay in the game. But it's like, you know what's about to happen. So now my Annihilus goes off last. So you do have to be a little bit careful. Like Annihilus can just full clog you, right, in some games. So you have to be careful, use your Prof X smartly. And sometimes you don't always just like hold Annihilus till 6. But this was the OG way we used to. When Annihilus first came out, people were doing this. People were playing Ghost in their deck. But then they realized like, oh, Eliath is just going to like just dummy me. And people were playing Eliath in the junk decks when Annihilus came out, because Eliath was like one of the best cards in the game. So you don't have to worry about any of that shit anymore. We're throwing Prio, baby, and we're punching with Cannonball. And Armor just handles the Destroy matchup. Just get free wins against Destroy because you have Armor. And it has some really cool applications in the mirror too. Like you can stuff a Void Lane with Armor, and they can't kill it now. So it stays on their side. So there's like really cool kind of big brain 5-head shit you could do with Armor in the mirror match specifically. They want to send over their, like you White Widow, and then you think, okay, they're going to send it back, right? No, Armor. And I also I think in general, Armor on their Hood is a really good place to play the Armor, I think. Because you're probably playing Sentry there anyway. and they're not going to play their hood on the right side because they want to send void. So armor their hood. Now they can't send the hood over, and it just sits on their side for a -3. So armor has some really cheeky plays in the mirror, and just absolutely just rolls over destroy decks. So yeah, really fun deck, and I've been doing great with this deck and having a blast.
That's great. I love it. Now, would you take out armor, or would you leave armor in once like everything settles down if you were to play this again? And ghost for that matter. Do you think those are things that make the cut, or are those just tech pieces to deal with all the bullshit right now?
They probably both get cut, I would say. If like, let's say destroy and junk were like 5% each, I think you cut them both.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just roll with like whatever, put whatever you want in there.
I think the ghost is like more like armor's just straight up for destroy. Like it even conflicts, whatever, how you say that, with your cannonball a little bit too. So you have to be careful. That's why I like to clog my own armor lane. Because then I just can't play cannonball there because I've clogged myself. So then you don't have to worry about that interaction. But yeah, like armor would probably be the first one to go. But a destroy is always so popular anyway, right? So it is just nice that the one matchup that just completely owns you, and then you could just own them if you have priority on turn 2.
Yeah, and at least worst case Ontario, it protects your sentry. So
yeah, exactly. It's good for sentry as well.
Yeah, and I guess it prevents them. I mean, you can't cannonball that lane, right? So it kind of cucks your cannonball, but it's good against their cannonball.
Yeah, you have to clog your whole lane with armor. Then it just kind of, you take out all that negative synergy, right? Because if your lane is clogged, their -10 void can't come over, and it can't get destroyed, which is hilarious.
Yeah,
and same with their hood, like I said. So that's how I've been playing it. It's been working really well. Also, just nobody's ready. Nobody's ready to play like a mirror junk match and you just have armor in your deck. Like it's just not something that they're used to seeing. And that's why I have Black Widow too. I think if it wasn't like this White Widow hot location, like I've been saying, I think Black Widow would probably be a Green Goblin, honestly. So maybe you would, like, if it was just a totally normal meta, maybe armor Black Widow Ghost would be like Ravonna, Green Goblin, like, something else that gets discounted by Green Goblin, by Ravonna. Like, yeah. So, because you already have Prof X gets discounted. So maybe like one other thing, and Grandmaster or something. I don't know. But yeah.
So speaking of Ravonna and speaking of Grandmaster, the deck I chose to build was inspired by pure copium huffing from my part. I wanted to have fun. It's not that good, but it's hilarious. Where is it? Oh man, I hope I didn't delete it. Oh, here it is. All right, I made it lower. All right, this is my White Widow clog deck. So it's the Hood, Grandmaster, Daredevil, White Widow, Ravonna, Green Goblin, Debris, Viper, Sentry, Prof X, Annihilus, and Cannonball. So I was just huffing that hopium real good, I just wanted I wanted to play Ravonna. Okay. 2, I wanted to play Daredevil because Daredevil's sick in these kind of junk decks.
Yeah.
I think he's like an auto include in a lot of these. He does so much more work, especially if you have like the 3/5 drops, or like if you have 3/5 drops out of the 4 of either Hobgoblin, Prof X, Annihilus, or Cannonball. If you have 3 out of 4 of those, Daredevil's like insane. He does so much work.
Sick in the mirror too. Daredevil's really good in the mirror. Like, do you know what they're doing on turn 5? Like that's like the main turn that the game is won basically every time.
Yeah. And then obviously I want to play Cannonball, and then have the White Widow. Grandmaster, he's not great, but he's fun. And then I wanted to play Viper because Viper either gives me a little bit of a hedge with my Void if I don't draw Nihilus or have no way to get rid of it. And 2, in the White Widow mirrors, they're throwing their little White Widow kind of thing. I don't forget what the hell it's called, the Widow's Bite or whatever. And you can just Viper that shit back over to their side.
Widow's Kiss.
The Widow's Kiss, yeah. You just Viper that shit back over, and you're like, get that garbage out of here,
Get that garbage out of here!
Or they're sending Green Goblins over. There's a lot of that kind of crap. There's a lot of debris right now. You just send their rocks over, send their Green Goblins back. That kind of stuff. So Viper's been kind of fun. But this deck was okay. I probably was like about even with it, maybe a little bit less than even, but as far as win rate. You know, if you snap good, then you get more cubes. But I was just messing around because it's hilarious to do like White Widow Grandmaster. I got that off a few times,
Mhm.
especially if you have Ravona. You can do that on turn 3 because Grandmaster is 1 cost. So it's like
Oh.
it's hilarious. It just messes them up. Prof X gets discounted with Ravona. Grandmaster does, and Green Goblin does. So there's 3 targets that and it's fun.
Yeah, in any
So yeah,
matchup, not destroy like 2 White Widows is ridiculous. I definitely had a couple matches where it's like Sinister London and you play White Widow and it's like it feels like the game's just over. Like because now they can only play 3 things on Sinister London. Just that alone is like crazy. Like you just limit them so much. Like you just the fact that you put a 0 on their Sinister London, like I don't know, man. This White Widow card's really sick. This is like a
yeah,
really good card, a really powerful
yeah.
card. I think. Like I don't
Oh
think it's
yeah,
just a fun. Like I think it's legit powerful, really strong card.
yeah. No, I think it's really good. Yeah, I think if you were to make this deck somewhat more competitive, probably get rid of Grandmaster and Viper, put in like probably like Shang-Chi and maybe Black Widow or something like that. Then might be better.
Yeah, or like a Nebula or something too. I like Nebby. I like Nebby in these decks personally.
Yeah, Nebula's good too. Oh, yes, with the Prof X, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, like Nebula, Shang-Chi, Nebula, Black Widow, that kind of stuff.
and even not with Prof X, like you're clogging them, right? So they can't play cards there because you're.
Yeah,
Say you do a rock and a Widow's Bite in a lane, like you could just put Nebula in that lane. It's probably going up
yeah,
at least 5 power.
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, this is the one I was playing. That was fun. It's a blast just throwing shit over, and especially when Ravona you get the Ravona discount, like they don't know what's coming. It's a lot. It's really great.
Mhm.
Debris Grandmaster is hilarious too.
Oh my god, that's filthy.
It is filthy.
Well, it's like those games where you get like Kamartage and like it's like, well, I
Yeah,
guess I'm just playing debris. Like
yeah.
it
That's
just
it.
blows up the board.
Yeah,
Like
it's funny.
we're doing it, baby.
Yeah, you're like you're in it. It's like
I
it's
can
just
never
going.
resist personally. If I see it, I have debris. I'm like, yeah, let's just see what happens. Like,
Yeah, me
rock.
too. Even if I'm losing, I still
Yeah,
do it. I'm like, this is really gonna screw me, but it's hilarious. I have
it's
to
so
do
funny.
it.
Like you gotta see how it
It's
plays out.
it's the perfect time to Deadpool emote.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what just happened?
Oh,
But yeah, and this is the Spyro, the deck that yeah, I don't know if he made it or if he just popularized it, but he definitely played a lot and did really well with it in High Infinite. If you didn't hear, I think we talked about it a bit last week, but it's like one of the highest win rates on Untapped right now in top ladder. It's the Hood, Spider Ham, Iceman, Nico, Pixie, Jeff, Mobius, Red Guardian, Sentry, Annihilus, Lady Deathstrike, and Red Hulk. So yeah, it's really fun deck too.
yeah, and worth pointing out
So
too that if you take out Red Guardian and you put like Polaris there, it's like almost the same win rate, like maybe like 0.2% lower. And like so you don't like need Red Guardian for this deck, but like me and Kid were saying, I mean he does feel really strong and good at stealing cubes and like really good cube equity on that card. And
yeah,
Lady Deathstrike right now is insane right now just because we're in the junk meta and I mean, she just absolutely ruins all your junk plans that you're trying to do. Again, this is why another reason why I like armor in the deck because I mean this LDS card she's coming up. I played a destroy player who is playing the Lady Deathstrike in the flex slot, and it's like yeah, that's actually really smart. You probably should be doing that if you're playing destroy. Like take out Shang-Chi and just put Lady Deathstrike there instead.
yeah. No, she's good. She's good. Yeah, this deck is fun. Pixie's great. I was gonna say something. After, oh yeah, Polaris. I think Polaris is probably good in White Widow decks too, because
Yeah,
they're clogging up their lane, and you can just unclog it, and that Widow's Bite or Widow's Kiss, becomes that much better. So Polaris is an interesting add in the clog decks as well, and plus you could pull things into other lanes to clog them as well. So
yeah.
Polaris is a good flex spot in these clog lists.
That is really interesting, and like you said, if the junk mirrors ever do calm down, maybe that's a good ghost substitute. Take out ghost, put in Polaris. Try
Yeah,
her out.
yeah, she's good. And then yeah, Mojo's another one to try out too,
Yeah,
because they're gonna fill up the Widow's Kiss lane, so you get that's like a 2/8 basically for free. But yeah, all right, enough about the meta and that kind of bullshit. Let's talk about so the OTAs. We're recording this on Wednesday. They're gonna come out tomorrow. The OTAs. So and just because of our schedule, we had to go a little bit early. So we put together an OTA wish list basically. of like cards that we want to see changed. Obviously, this list is going to be exhaustive. We like to see a lot of cards changed. We haven't heard any of each other's ideas, but we could go we don't have to go like 10 minutes on each card. We can go relatively quick, and we don't expect all of these or any of these to be changed. This is just our personal opinion. So, you want to start with like 1 drops or 0 drops, whatever, and then just go up by cost. Do you have them sorted any way?
I don't have mine sorted anyway, but we could do that though for sure. Like my first couple are happen to be 1 drops anyway. I sorted mine by like buffs and then nerfs.
All right, sweet. You want to go? You can go first if you want.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, like the kid was saying, this is our OTA wish list. So cards that like I think could use a rework, for example. Like I'm gonna throw out the card Uatu or Adam Warlock, and maybe the kid disagrees with those two specifically. Maybe those are on the kid's OTA wish list, right? But cards like that, I think personally need just a straight up rework. Like they tried the Adam Warlock thing twice, didn't work. They tried to buff Uatu, his numbers, it's not working. I think if they put him to 1-3, I don't think anyone's playing it still. So to me, like these cards need a straight up text change or do something different. So these are just, hey, like there's no harm in just tweaking the numbers on these cards, power and cost. Like let's just tweak the power and cost on these cards. And like why not? Like instead of do these bullshit side grades that I complain about every week, I come on here, they side grade another card, they got another Hulkbuster, another Mantis, another bullshit, they're wasting their time. Rather than just complain, let's actually have some constructive criticism and give our actual cards that we actually want to see changed and the number that we would put it to, which I think is the harder conversation, right? How much do you buff them by? How much do you nerf them by, right? So I think it's a really cool, interesting idea. We haven't really done it, right? So like, why not? No. Let's do it.
Yeah, and just to be fair, like cards that I think need a really big rework, I left off.
Yeah.
Some like minor text changes that I thought was a cool idea. I wanted to include because I'm like, I think it's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just to mention anyway. Yeah, exactly.
Most of mine are just the number changes, but some are like, I think this would be kind of cool. And then, but the ones that are like really, really need a rework, like Uatu, I don't think I have Uatu on here because like, I'm like, that card's fucked. Like power's not going to do anything for him.
Yeah. And I have some ideas for the rework. I'm not going to lie. I had some interesting ideas, but like, for example, let me, now that we're here, let me just throw out my Uatu.
There we go.
I think it'd be cool if obviously you showed all the locations, right? Maybe 1-3, right? But I think it would be cool if he just gets an automatic Daredevil on the first turn. So you see exactly what they're playing on the first turn, no matter what. So just at the start of the game, you see what they're playing. You get Daredevil on turn 1, which obviously is way less valuable than turn 5. But he's the watcher. He sees things. So you see start of the game. So let's say 1-2. Start of the game, you see every location and what your opponent is playing on turn 1. What do you think about that?
I think that's pretty cool. I like that. I don't know if that's good enough because, like, who cares? But one thing, I'll throw out my idea for him. I think it's a cool idea. I like
a Rocket Raccoon,
Eh? Yeah, it's definitely a hell of a lot better than what he is now.
Yeah,
I think like a cool idea for him would be like when he's on the board, you always see the leftmost card in your opponent's hand.
Oh, that's okay. That's sick. I like that better.
As the watcher, and not the rightmost card because that's new every time. So you're getting way too much information and seeing what they're drawing. That's like broken as fuck. But like if you get to see their leftmost card when he's on the board, like then that's mind games, man. Are they going to play that card? Like they have that, and if it's Hella, like they have the Hella, like that kind of stuff, and like he's like a shitty. Probably keep him at a 1-2 there, and he's like a shitty 1-2, but like that's some pretty sick information right there,
I love that. That's super interesting. Okay, yeah. So there's cool things they could do with these cards. Like we don't need to just be sad about it. Let's give some constructive ideas, and who knows? Maybe they'll listen. They listen to our Guardian suggestions, right? So
yeah, definitely.
You never know. So okay, so I got Angel first. I think you can just give him +1. It's Angel. He's at 1-2. Doesn't need to be a 1-2. Let's get him to a 1-3 and see what happens.
I had the exact same change.
Perfect.
Angel 1-3. Like he just give him 1 extra power. He needs it.
I still think there's a good chance he doesn't make any destroy deck at a 1-3. There's
Same.
Pool 1 and 2. You have an actual card you could play with, not a fucking meme bullshit bot card.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. So If you want to stick to one cost, I mean, I put Quicksilver / Domino here, but I think honestly they probably need +2 each, but I just put +1 each to start. With OTA, I think it's a no brainer. Like, okay, here's my pitch for Quicksilver. Right now, he's a 1/2 with downside. Because he stops you from actually drawing your cards. So he like Black Widows you, and he's a 1/2. So Martyr, for example, she's a 1/5 with downside. Blade, technically, Blade and Zero are kind of like the, you know what I mean, like they're
Yeah.
downside, but in their decks they can be very beneficial, right? So they're like 1/3, they're kind of in the middle. I think a 1/2 with downside is crazy. Like, it's just absolutely psychotic. And like you have Nico, like on the screen, you have Iceman and Nico. These are 1/2s with upside. They have really powerful effects, and they are 1/2. So I think Quicksilver minimum needs to be a 1/3, and I wouldn't even hate if they put him to 1/4, and wouldn't even hate if they put Domino to a 2/5.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I don't have them on my list because I'm like, they're never gonna rework them. They're just like they said these are like new player cards, blah 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 blah, and I don't know if power is even good enough for them. But yeah, I think actually minimum 1/3/2/5 is not a hard ask for them. Even like yeah, Domino being a 2/5 is fine. Like I think, or even a 2/4 minimum, 2/4 minimum.
Think about if Quicksilver was a 1/4, you're probably still not playing it in most decks.
I
Like
probably wouldn't.
Hawkeye's
Right.
a very reliable 1/4 right now. He
Yeah.
doesn't see too much play.
Yeah, that's true. I probably wouldn't play him that much, honestly, if at all.
So let's bump him up to 1/4, man. What are we doing? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I like that. My next one drop is Electra, and this is like my mini rework idea. This is not a power. I don't think power is going to help her.
Yeah.
If she's a 1/3, even I don't know. Like maybe it'd be help, but I don't know. But I felt like you can't just bump up every single card, in these one costs. I think if she's maybe like a 1/0, and you destroy 2 1 costs there in that location. It's like a mini Killmonger, but for one energy.
I like the 1/0 idea of Electra. I just think she should kill a 2 cost instead.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know if that's so broken though. That's like a 1. Because then if she takes out Angela, that's fucking cracked, man.
Yeah, but she's a 1/0. Like, you got to wait for them to play the Angela, and then I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you probably. Well, she's a 1/0, right? Like, I don't know. What if they just like don't play 2 costs? You're just sitting on a 1/0, like you're like shit.
Yeah.
They put armor on 2. You're just like, well, fuck.
Yeah. I think for her to have to kill 2 costs, she needs to be a 2 cost herself, like a 2/1 or something.
I'll be fine with that too. I just thought if she kills 2 1-drops, she's basically Killmonger, and why not just play Killmonger instead?
Yeah, I was thinking that too, because she's a 1-drop though. 1-drops are sick.
Yeah, but you just play Killmonger, right?
Whatever, bro.
It's the same.
I know.
The same
I know.
thing.
I thought about that too.
Yeah,
but that's my weakest one. I think. I hope.
No, I like it. I didn't because I do think I agree with you that she needs to be reworked, and that's why I didn't include her on here. But yeah,
I just like her. I think she's a cool card. I think like they could do something cool with her.
I agree.
And it's a shame that she's like just like a bot card basically.
I would love to see if they even just tried your idea. Let's just see what happens, And
Something.
Yeah, I would love to see an Electro rework for sure. Okay, I don't have any other 1-drops.
All right, do you want me to just go through my 1-drop? I have one more.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's a rework again.
Yeah,
okay. I feel like I have to say this because this needs to happen.
Yeah.
M'Baku just jumps out wherever he is.
Yeah, I think they could pump him to a 1/3 as well. Honestly,
I didn't even just leave him 1/2. Just jumps out wherever he is.
Yeah.
Just wherever he is, he's Unreal. Auto include in Cerebro 2. That's it, and he's always jumping on the board. No matter what.
And maybe Lockjaw too. Like maybe like if Lockjaw ever does come back, if it's wherever he is, that's pretty good. Because it's usually you're playing 1 card at a time. Maybe you play him in like a Sandman deck or something. Because it's just like an extra card, right? It comes out. So maybe you play him in some Sandman build. It'd be similar to that new card coming out in June. She runs out of your hand or whatever. She looks like but she looks like shit. But she only runs out of the hand. I think that's fine because she's a 3/3, and maybe they'll buff her to a 3/4 even. But and M'Baku should come out of the deck too because I just think that's hilarious. And
the hand or deck, just anything. Yeah. This gets these huge M'Baku plays is amazing.
You play like Okoye, just to pump him up, and
and he's still random. Still keep him random,
Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't have to be like
Lowest.
crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
lowest power or something. You can maybe,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. No, I like that. I agree. Yeah, it's good to shout out M'Baku too, because I mean that card just really sad.
Yeah.
Just has never been relevant, and we want to see these cards flourish,
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so I'm gonna bring up one that's it's a little bit radical, but I think you'll mention this card on your list, maybe. So I put a Colossus.
Okay.
Did you put Colossus on yours?
No.
Okay,
I
so
probably should have actually.
yeah,
I
I mean
forgot about him.
Colossus obviously like one of the very worst cards in all of Marvel Snap. This card is absolutely horrendous. Two
Yeah.
3 does nothing. I mean, it can't be destroyed. Move. Yeah, this is a joke. This is a joke card. I would like to see them at least try with an OTA here. What do you think about this kid? 5'11".
With the same ongoing.
Yeah. Then because here's the problem with Colossus. They can't be destroyed. There's no Electra that kills 2 power. There's no what's gonna destroy him? Lady Deathstrike? Like what can't be destroyed against what? It has to be like Death's Domain. Has to be some crazy 1 in 30 games like that. Can't be destroyed is literally never gonna come up. Like it's a joke. It can't be destroyed. It's so stupid. So if we put him to over 10 power, then he's like Ebony Blade kind of, and you can't Shang-Chi him. So maybe you do like Shuri Colossus or something. You makes him a 22, and he's just sitting there like, "What's up, man? I'm Colossus." Like so. I think like a 5'11" or something like that would be kind of interesting with a card like this.
Yeah, maybe that's kind of. I think 5'11" would be kind of broken with him because he can't be destroyed, moved, or have his power reduced.
Yeah, but he's only 11 power. I mean, it's not really like
You can't
an obnoxious
afflict him or
amount of
anything
power.
like that.
Hmm?
Yeah, I guess I would say like maybe like a 5'10" or 5'9". Because if you buff him, you can buff him too, and he still can't have his power reduced.
Hmm.
I mean, he can just sit in like Jotunheim, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
As a 5'11" would be ridiculous. Yeah, I don't know.
I think it'd be cool though. Then he's gonna see some play, right? I mean, that's what we want, right?
I like him as a bigger boy.
Yeah,
Don't get me
big,
wrong.
get him. Let's go.
The number, I don't know. I have to think.
I don't think I would ever play him as a 5'10" personally.
Yeah, but then like, is he just way better than like Spider Woman or Doc Ock? I don't know.
Doc Ock has a very disruptive effect, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, Spider Woman, yeah, I mean, but Spider Woman's already kind of like maybe she needs a buff, Like they did buff her already, but that's one of those cards where it might not be like her fault. Like that's not Colossus's fault, right? That's Spider Woman kind of underpowered a bit.
I like it. I'm for it. He's a shit card. Again, he's another like automatic snap condition when I'm climbing infinite because like it's another bot Colossus like. It's a Spectrum bot deck. Let's just snap here.
100%, yeah.
So yeah, no, I agree.
You got any 2?
I like it. I do have 2. I have a few 2s actually.
Yeah.
Are those your only 2s?
No, you go. Okay, mine's not in order, so yeah.
I want to see Grandmaster as a 1/0.
Ooh.
I want to see him as a 1/0. He's so shit at a 2/0.
Yeah.
I don't think a 1/0 will break the game or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It makes him way better. Like you're cutting his cost in half. I get that.
Mm-hmm.
But like a 1/0 sucks. And like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's not that good still. But I like to see. And if it breaks the game, then change it back in a week. It's fine.
Grandmaster's a good call. I didn't even think of that card. And yeah, man, I don't think that would be too broken. Like I'm thinking about it. It's not that much different than a 2/0 because it's still a 0 power card. It's just I mean, you got White Widow like just came out like so that combo specifically becomes a little more obnoxious. You don't like need the Ravonna and stuff, but yeah, I like that. I like that change. That's a cool one.
Yeah, I like that.
Let people burn their spotlight keys like us.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I mean,
have a little more
I don't know if he'll be that, bro. He'd be much better for sure. Like you're cutting his cost in half. Like it's a huge buff.
Yeah.
But I think he needs it because he's a piece of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just too awkward at the 2/0.
With a cool effect,
Which is weird too, because Absorbing Man sees some play. Like in these Surfer decks, Absorbing Man was really good. And yeah, it's like Glenn said on the podcast there. Cards with no power are just not good, and cards with power are better. So Yeah, man, he's
Yeah.
a 0 power card. I mean, Adam Warlock was a 2/0, and look
And
how that turned out. So
and Absorbing Man, you can choose where you play him too, right? Like,
yeah.
and he doesn't disrupt everything. Grandmaster, you have to play him on the left or the right,
Mhm.
and then it disrupts you and moves the card to the middle
Yeah, you
too.
have to
Like,
have room in the middle to even,
yeah,
yeah.
it has to be like a favorable location in the middle. Yeah,
Mhm.
Absorbing Man has power,
Mhm.
and you can play him where you have agency of where you're playing him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, there's a lot of
I don't
hoops
know.
you have to jump through for this
I'd love to
Grandmaster
see
thing.
him as a 1-drop, just a 1-0, and see what happens.
I love that. That's a cool one.
Yeah.
Two costs. Okay, I put Baron Mordo here, man. Give him +1. Why is he not a 2/4? Let's get
Yeah.
Baron Mordo a 2/4. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And yeah,
I have Baron Mordo too.
yeah. So that's good that you got Baron Mordo as well. I think 2/4 he'd be fine. Like still maybe it's just Ronin type of stuff, but
Yeah.
you can consider it some kind of Ronin decks. I know Woody's messing around with Ronin builds right now, but he's playing just Maximus and Ronin, right? And that's like one of the best decks in the game, the Super Giant build.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like maybe Ronin can make the cut if he's a 2/4. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it would be cool.
yeah, he's so dog shit. Even in his own archetype, he's horrible. So is Master Mode, to be fair. But yeah,
I went a different route with Ronin.
Okay.
I think keep him at 2-3, but he draws your opponent 2 cards and they both cost 6.
Oh, with Baron Mordo. Okay.
With Baron Mordo, yeah,
Yeah,
with Mordo. Yeah.
Okay, so draw.
So
2
he
cards.
draws you 2 and they both cost 6.
Yeah, and that's still an OTA change because you're just changing a number on the thing. So
Yeah.
draw 2.
And he's still a 2-3.
Doesn't he
know
run
either.
into the same issue that he currently has, which is like he's kind of thinning your opponent's deck, but just like even harder now.
Yeah, maybe, but like you could clog their hand too, right? Like,
Yeah,
and then you could cuck their draw. If you play with Master Mold and stuff too, like you can do a lot of stuff. If those are 2 6s. You play him, then you play Master Mold the next turn. Like those are 2 cards they can't play, and the Master Mold's going to fill up their hand, and then they can't draw.
Yeah, it's better for Ronin exactly for sure.
That's what I mean. Like it's still like instead of just giving him power, it gives him something different. Like it's leading into what he's doing, but just a little bit better. And maybe it's not. I don't know.
I'm gonna say this: give him both. Give them both. Like it's probably still fine.
That's true.
This card's so bad. Like it's an ungodly bad card. Like let's give him 2/4, draw 2, 6. I actually think it's fine. He's not gonna make most decks. The top 10 decks in the game will not have Baron Mordo in it, even at that line. So
I love
Yeah.
it. My next one's a little simple one.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Give Psylocke her power back. Like she's 2/1. Just you put her in a timeout because of Thanos. Thanos, you neutered him. You nuked him. Give Psylocke. Let Psylocke be a 2/2. You can't play her anymore. She's got such gorgeous variants too. Like, come on, what are we doing?
She felt like a cool card, even outside of Thanos. Yeah, she was an interesting card at 2/2 for sure. And especially when like Havoc was out. We're playing Psylocke with Havoc. Before they kind of nuked Viper and stuff. And yeah, like I do like the card Psylocke. I think she's a really interesting card. Like in Marvel Snap, you could do so much with her because obviously you could always use the energy, like just a little bit of ramp. You don't have to be playing a ramp deck to just need a little bit of ramp. So yeah, man, I like this card a lot, and I agree with you. I didn't think of that, but that's a good one.
Yeah, just come on, give her power back.
She died for Thanos' sins.
She did.
I don't think I have any other 2s. I'm looking at.
I have a couple of them. You want me to go through them?
Yeah,
I'll go through them quick. So this one, probably I kind of mentioned it earlier, but maybe we don't need to do it because I was to say make Pixie a 1/1 instead of a 2/1. But maybe she's pretty good as a 2/1. Because like one of the top decks in the game has Pixie, and maybe she's finally finding her place. So this one's maybe a little less necessary, but I think she's a fun card, and I'd like to see her as a 2/1. You want to go over one while as a 1/1, yeah. You want to go over one while my dog goes nuts?
Sure. Okay. Well, okay. Well, like I said, I'm done with the two drops, so I'm gonna group 3 costs together here. Okay. We got Captain America and the Punisher, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it with these cards. I'm over it. Like they really fucked up on the card design on these cards. Like these are they're so underpowered. It's like they're not even close to playable. I've actually seen a little bit of Captain America kind of creep around. Like people are messing around with it, but I think they're a joke. So this is what I'm proposing. I think they should be +2 for each card, both of them. Captain America should be a 3/2 +2 for each to each other card here. So if you have a full lane, he's a 3/8 at full power. Okay, and Punisher should be 3/3 +2 for each enemy card. So 3/9 at full power, like Strong Guy. So you have a very difficult condition to meet, but if you meet it, you get a 3/9. That's a Punisher. You can play with like a Jean Grey or something like that. That would be one way to kind of ensure. Or you play him in a junk deck like a Mojo, right? You play Mojo and Punisher. You could have this like power junk deck or something. So much cool shit you could do with Punisher, but we can't do any of it because it's like, all right, if you do everything, he's like a 3/6 or whatever, like horseshit stat line he is now. I think he needs to be 3/3 +2 for each enemy card. Same with Captain America. And if you throw an onslaught on Captain America, then you actually get like rewarded for it. It's kind of interesting. 4/4/4. That's +12, right? Total. So I think that's pretty cool. I think they're both would be interesting cards. You could probably play Captain America in Spectrum if he had that effect. And yeah, man, they really need to change these cards because they're iconic Marvel characters that deserve way more love and way that they've gotten.
That's so funny. I had almost the exact same changes as you for those two cards as well. Captain America, I made him a 3/1 +2.
Yeah.
I figured like a 3/7 total is fair for him because you can buff him and stuff. And Gladiator's a 3/8 with downside. He would be a 3. I figured him as being a 3/8, basically with no downside. You have all the agency, right? I figured
you have
him
to
being
clog,
a
though.
3/7.
You have to clog your whole lane. Perfect.
Yeah, but by the end of the game, you usually fill up a lane. Like if you're playing him, you're gonna fill up. Like Dazzler, right? Like if you don't play Dazzler and say, "Yeah, I'm not gonna clog my lane," right? Like you're gonna fill up lanes with Dazzler, right?
Sure. Yeah.
So that was my logic. I don't think he'd be busted at a 3/8 total either, like a 2/3/2 or whatever. And then Punisher, I had the exact same as like an OTA. I had like an OTA and like a rework because I've talked about the rework before, but like the OTA I had the exact same as you. 3/3 +2, make him a +9, just like Strong Guy. Difficult condition to meet, and then you get 9 power total. But my rework idea for him, which I thought was more flavorful, which I've brought up before, is he's like a 3/0 or 3 whatever, and he gets +1 power for whatever card however many cards gets destroyed that game.
Yeah. Like a scaling destroy. Yeah. That kind of fits the lore too.
Yeah. However many cards die, he gets that.
That's pretty hilarious. Yeah. So it's like Death's cost goes down, and then Punisher's power goes up. Is it ongoing?
I don't know. I haven't thought about that.
Yeah, I guess
I thought if it was ongoing, then he can get owned. But I think probably just not ongoing. Just leave it how it is.
Yeah, but like
not
Morbius.
Ongoing. Just like a blank text, not ongoing. But he can still get Shadow King.
Okay, so you would have to play him then before he starts scaling if he's not ongoing.
Oh yeah, maybe ongoing then.
It's basically like it's either Bishop or it's Morbius, right? That's how you got to think about it.
Yeah, Morbius. He needs to be like, he needs to be.
So he's ongoing, yeah.
Yeah, he needs to be ongoing.
Yeah, I like that. I like that too. But I like his current design. But I'm a lockdown bro, so I've always wanted to just like play this guy and like lockdown and clog and all this stuff. I think it's just so much cool shit we could do with this card. Same with Jean Grey too. I should have put her here and here. I didn't even think. But Jean Grey, by the way, +1. Let's get her a 3/4 at least. I'll throw that out there. Do you have Jean Grey on yours or no?
No, I kind of liked her at a 3/3. I don't know. I always have some hope that she's going to be good, but she never really is. But I don't think power's her issue, honestly.
Yeah, maybe you're right. Okay, so what else you got, kid?
All right, so for the 2 drops, I'll kind of go through them quickly. Mirage, I have on there. I think she can be a 2/2 +3. Like, give +3. There's so many 2/5s in the game. Why the hell why is she just a 2/4? When you have to play another card too.
Conditional 2/5,
Yeah, you are getting a little bit of information, but you still have to play that card. You have to spend the energy to play the card. So just let her be a 2/5.
I agree.
Keep her a 2/2. Give her but +3 on the card that you draw. And then I had kind of a little radical idea because this card's so bad.
What, Mantis?
Okoye.
Okay,
No, Mantis needs a full rework. I'm not even talking about that card anymore.
Yeah.
Fuck Mantis. I can't talk about that card anymore.
Yeah.
Okoye. A 2/0 +2.
Ooh. I mean, I'm all for it. I like the big.
I don't know if that's busted. Is it? Maybe it's busted. Maybe it's not because if you draw her late, like I don't know. But +2 energy, like my logic is if you draw her on 2, and then it's like you have a 6-turn game, so then you're drawing 3, 4, 5, and 6. She's a 2/8.
Yeah.
Right. So she ends up being a 2/8, and Angela's reliably a 2/8.
Mhm.
They're okay with that. And obviously, there's ways to cheat it out and everything, but you can cheat out Angela too.
Mhm.
So I don't know. I thought that was kind of a cool
I
idea.
like it. I'm definitely for it. I think that's sounds fun. Like it would be a card I'm excited to play, and I would want to play. We played
Yeah.
with the new card coming out. I forget his name, but he's like a 3/3, and he either gives +2 or -1 cost to each card.
Fastos.
Fastos, yeah. So you could play her in like
Yeah.
a Fastos deck. I think that'd be sick. Obviously, they're very trepidatious with the buff stuff, right? Because of Elsa. Elsa, it's similar to like Psylocke died for Thanos' sins. Like all these buff cards are dying for Elsa's sins because Elsa was a +3 and she completely broke the game, right? So you're playing like Shuri Kitty, Elsa gives just you're getting this like 35 power Kitty Pride, and it's just ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know if it would be busted because obviously when you're buffing, you're hitting like Sebastian Shaw, you're hitting Brood, right? Brood goes to 3/4. Absorbing Man's now 4/6, so it's it's an 18 power Absorbing Man. Like it gets pretty ridiculous, but yeah, and those are the decks you're going to play her in, obviously, right? So but I'm all for it. I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, I think
And,
it's cool.
and Shadow King's in the game. We have the release spell.
Yeah, and 2/0s suck.
Yeah.
Like 2/0s are horrible.
They're horrible.
So
Grandmaster.
yeah, exactly. Adam Warlock, RIP, the old one.
Yeah.
And then my other one is Lizard. Just revert him again. Come on, 2/5 -3 power if you fill the lane. Just send him back to what he used to be. There's too many more broken cards. He doesn't need to be -4 power. He doesn't need to be a 2/1 if the lane's full. I think he can go back safely.
For the people listening, if you just started playing Marvel Snap recently, there was basically like no 2/5s in the game like a year ago.
Yeah,
they didn't exist. Like I'm even looking at Medusa on the screen. Medusa was a 2/4. She did not give +3. She got buffed on OTA, which was awesome OTA change. And so there was no Silk wasn't in the game. None of these cards. Maximus right now is a 2/6. Maximus was a 3/7 back then, and so they're like getting the only card in the game that like was a 2/5 was extremely valuable. There was no Jeff, the baby land shark, so you weren't just putting Jeff in every deck. Like Lizard was the shit. Like so I think they said in the patch notes that it was like the most minuscule slight nerf that they've ever done. They're like, we're just it's only on the condition he's still a 2/5, and they did that nerf, and Lizard just got completely nuked from the game, and he's just been a fringe borderline playable card. I agree with you. Let's get back to old Lizard. He'd be totally fine.
Yeah. Those are my 2 drops.
I like it. Okay, well, we did Captain America, Punisher. Okay, let me. So I kind of categorized mine in kind of like archetypes, like Captain America, Punisher, Quicksilver, Domino. So just to get to the 3 drops, I want to go back to the Guardians. Okay, now here's the thing, kid. I've accepted that they're all +4. Okay, they want to do, and I'm going to get to the Atlanteans later too. Okay, but they want to do +4 for all the Guardians, right? That's like it's lore, like their group, all of them have to give +4, so it's just a matter of what cost and power they are, base cost, base power. So I think Groot just straight up needs 2. Like I just give him 2. I'm ready for a 3/9 Groot. I don't know about you. I'm ready. My body's ready. You could try put him at a +1. I still think nobody's playing him as a 3/4. I just don't like. Is anyone playing the 3/4 Groot? Do you think?
No.
Yeah,
maybe. Like fringe.
He's fringe, right? So I think let's see what happens, man. He's never been a card in Marvel Snap. Let's push the tempo here and go to a 3/5 +4 if you guess where they played, and that's a 3/9. Sometimes you're gonna whiff, and he's just a 3/5 that does nothing, which, as we know, with a card like Black Swan, is like not a playable card. So these 3/5s, like they have to do something now. So I think Groot should be included in that. And so then I'm just going to do all my Guardians again.
That's fine.
So then, because these are kind of grouped together. Gamora, I think Gamora's really close, but just a +1 base power. So right now she's 5'8", and she's kind of not really competitive playable. She's so slightly off. She's right on the edge. I think she just needs to go to 5'9". So 5'9", you get the reach. She goes to a 5'13". I think that's completely fair. And just a naked 5'9" is, we know, again, it feels really bad. Like Arrow, you don't see anybody playing Arrow, and Arrow has a pretty cool effect, and she's a 5'9". So 5'9" is feels very bad. Playing your Mockingbird with no cost reduction, like that's a 5'9", it feels really bad. Jessica Jones and Rescue are 4'9s, and they feel really bad. So, like, you have to guess right with the Gamora, and she goes to the 5'13". It's not game breaking to having a 13 power card on the board, and it can get Shang-Chi or Shadow King or whatever, right? So, I think that's fine. Drax, I gave some thought. Would you play 4/7 Drax, kid?
4/7, then it could be a +11.
Has to be +4 because that's the rule they've set with these. So yeah,
yeah, in the right deck, yeah.
I don't know if I would personally. It's close, right? And I think 4/8's just busted, like on Drax. I think so.
No, 4/8's way too good. 4/8's
way too good. I agree. So I think Drax should be a 6/13.
Oh, you just make him the big boy.
This is an OTA. Yeah. OTA change. We're just changing the numbers. 6/13 goes to a 17 if you guess right.
I like that he's the big boy.
Why not? He is the big boy. He's Batista, man. He's the juice man.
Yeah.
So those are my Guardians proposals. I think they did a great job on Rocket Raccoon and Star-Lord, and I think we gotta give Groot +2, Gamora +1, and Drax 6/13. 4/7 is maybe, if they really want to keep him a 4. I think 4/7's fine. I still don't think you get played at that, and I think it'd be just hilarious if it was a 6/13 too.
Yeah, I think he's probably got to be the one that's not +4, because then there's straight power creep on the regular base Hulk.
Yeah, but nobody plays base Hulk, and base Hulk you could just say is just play High Evo or play some Patriot Mystique or some shit, and it's a 16. You could justify it like that because nobody plays base Hulk. Like even in pool 1, you don't play base Hulk. Like it's just a horrible card.
Yeah, I like Drax as a big boy though. Mm-hmm. I would even like him as a 6'10 +8. Make him the +8 because he's the big boy. But if they're all gonna be +4, then sure. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I like those. I didn't touch the Guardians because I was like, they just whatever. They're not gonna get it.
I'm passionate. I'm passionate. I just think they're awesome cards. And also Punisher fits with these cards. Like if they fix Punisher and start buffing these, or get a real buff on the Guardians, like we have like a pretty cool. We have a brand new archetype in Snap. Like I think that's sick. And it's in the game already. They made it. They printed the cards. It's a beautiful idea, and the numbers are just way too fucking low. So that's why we got OTA changes.
Yeah, I love it. So my 3 drops. We went through Captain America and Punisher. Mm-hmm. I think Sabretooth needs 3/5 sucks for him. He needs to be a 2/3. I think we need to start at a 2/3. He needs to be less. He needs to cost less. I think making him a 3/6.
2/3 enough?
I don't know. I think start there.
Might have to start at 2/4.
2/4 is pretty good though. 2/4 is pretty good. I think start at 2/3. Because you destroy him a few times, then he becomes a 0/3 that just kind of scales. He's easy to get out early, and then he'll, especially with Carnage and stuff like that.
Keep popping him, yeah.
Deadpool Carnage, on put him on 2, then Deadpool Carnage on 3, or whatever the hell you're gonna do. I don't know.
Yeah, Nico on 1, Sabretooth. Then you could play Sabretooth on 2. So, yeah. Yeah, I like it. Yeah. I like it. I didn't think of Sabretooth. I was, they just touched him, so I didn't really look at him. But yeah. I'm with you on that. I think that's a good change.
Yeah, he needs to be less, I think.
He is very awkward at 3.
He needs to cost less.
Yeah, he's awkward at 3 for sure.
For him to have a chance to go and destroy decks and make some meaningful impact. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anyways. And then, just fucking Viper. Come on. 2/3. Just bring it. Run it back. Just run it back.
Just 2/3.
Doesn't need to be just bigger back to a 2/3.
We got this junk support now. Let's see what happens,
Yeah, there's not going to be a Havoc meta with people throwing Havoc everywhere.
Yeah.
Relax. They could do that anyway if they wanted to with Viper and Ravonna or whatever. But I don't know. It wasn't even that good. We need Viper back as a 2/3.
I don't even know if it was good because it was like 2 days. So we didn't have time to see if it was good.
Yeah, that's true.
We had it for a couple days. I was having a blast. But it's just.
Yeah. But you were losing a lot too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, you don't get it. It's like, even
that's what I mean. It's not like
it's like a 16 power card, dude. You just give him a 16 power card. Like, it's insane.
Yeah. I think we just got to get Viper back. That was one of the dumbest nerfs they've ever done in the whole game, in my opinion.
Yep.
And they still haven't reverted it for whatever reason. But yeah. And then my other 3 drop, I think my last one, Werewolf by Night. Oh, he's a 4 drop, but I want him to be a 3 drop.
Yeah, yeah.
Make him a 3/0 +2. Start there.
Okay, because he was
Maybe
before he was 3/3 +2.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I don't think that would be broken.
Yeah.
It's a
And then
3
if
power
you
nerf from where he was before. That's a pretty huge nerf.
yeah, and then like I'd say start at 3/0, and then if he needs like 1 power, then give him 1 power. If he needs to be a 3/1.
Yeah, and you might be able to start at 3/1 because Beast in that deck specifically, because I think Beast is in a pretty good spot right now. I actually like the new Beast, and I think he's not as like crazy as he was before. Just the crazy ceiling pop off, and that is one of the decks where old Beast was much better because you set all your 1 cost to 0, and then you Falcon them again, and then they're still 0, and that's where Werewolf was getting just absolutely crazy. 17, 19, 21 power Werewolf. Because all
3
your
drop.
all your ones are 0 permanently. So you play them, you bounce them again, you play them again. It got absolutely ridiculous. So I think with the new Beast, it's going to be harder to scale him. Just because you have to play your shit on the next turn, you play Beast, so you have to now hold Beast till 5 every time. That's just a straight up nerf to the Werewolf bounce deck. Like it's a huge nerf to the Werewolf bounce deck specifically. I think Glazer would know better than us. I mean, we just had him on; we could ask him, but I think he would tell you the same thing, right?
Yeah, my logic was in these like bounce type dedicated archetypes, he's not that difficult to get 5 with, and a 3/10 is pretty damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I said a 3/0. But yeah, 3/1, and then maybe if he needs to be a 3/1, sure, a 3/1. But putting him back to a 3, like especially with Zabo getting nuked, I mean like him at a 4/4 feels so bad, and he was such a fun card.
Yeah,
he was such a fun card. I really liked him.
Yeah, I didn't think too much of. It's funny you brought a lot of these cards that they kind of nuked, and I almost didn't include any of them in my list. But I'm happy that you're bringing these cards back. It's like they went a little too far with these nukes, right? And it's nice they brought. I think they did a good job on Elsa. I want to say
they did, yeah.
Because Elsa they nuked her completely, but now I think Elsa's in a really good spot. Like I think Elsa's like a fair, like pretty good card, and she's not too oppressive, and but she does get to like 3/9, 3/11 like in a lot of games, which is great. So I think 3 you could put Werewolf to a 3/1, and that's what we kind of originally thought they were going to do with Werewolf anyway. We thought just put him to 3/1. Let's see, but
he's not like he's not like a boring card. He has a cool effect, and he's a fun card. Like you can really screw up with him, and you have to plan your turns in advance, and you feel like you're in the Matrix when you do something right with him, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, and people spent 6K tokens on him. Everybody bought this card, so it would be a big big W for the community for sure.
Yeah, run it back.
Yeah,
all right.
I'm with you on that. I like that change a lot. Okay, three costs. I don't have any more 3s.
All right.
Do you?
Nope.
All right, kid. I want to talk about the Atlanteans because we got Nomura coming out, right?
Yeah.
And I've noticed with the Guardians have to be +4 on all of them. Atlanteans have to be +5 on all of them, including the location. If you have one card there, it gets +5. I think it's whatever. It's Atlantea, whatever it's called, right? So Nomura is +5 to each card alone. So I have to leave the +5. We can't change that. So it's just a base power buff. This card Namor is dog shit. This card is horrible. This card is horrendous. Like
it's so bad.
This is one of the worst cards in the game. Like he's embarrassing, man. I feel bad for Namor. Like because I like the concept. I think it's a cool concept for a card. It has to be alone. This is a pretty difficult condition to meet, like especially in a junk meta now. But so I honestly, kid, I think it should be a 4/8. Like I just think Namor needs to be a 4/8. I don't want to see 4/7 Namor.
I think 4/8 is too good.
I think 4/7 is too shit.
This is why I don't think +5 is the right way to go. I think he should be +7.
Okay, I mean I'm down for that, but I'm just trying to stick to their bullshit guidelines here.
My Orca's +7 too.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I think so. I think both Orca and Namor should get 2 base power. That's my OTA wish.
Yeah, I think a base 4/8 that has an upside is just too much power creep for me, personally.
It's okay, but like again, like Rescue Jessica Jones are reliable 4/9s. Hell Cow's a 4/8 with upside. Like none of these cards get played. Like you think it's a lot, but what card are you playing that's just a 4/8 and like you feel good, you know?
There are none that are just a straight 4/8.
Yeah, like, but like, say I don't know, say you were playing, say White Queen was like a 4/8, where you're just playing her all the time. I mean, she has an actual effect though, you know. But
Maybe, I don't know.
like, just think about Hellcow, for example. You know, like
Well, it discards 2 of your cards. I mean,
if you're a discard deck, it doesn't make
unreliably.
I don't know. I don't think playing a 4/8 does anything, especially now without Zabu, right? Like, especially now in the post Zabu world, like you playing a 4/8 doesn't do anything. You need at least 10 power on your force, at least 9, like 9 minimum, you know, for it to have any respectable amount of power. Yeah. So anyway, I think 4/8's fine. And if he's by himself, he's asking to get Shang-Chi. He's begging you to please Shang-Chi me. You know, there's no Kyra, nothing can protect him because he's by himself. You play armor there, now he's back down to 4/8. Can't get Shang-Chi. So I mean, he's just a Shang-Chi magnet. And then Orca, I think 6/13 is fine. I think then he goes +5 to 6/18 if he's by himself.
I like that. I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked +7 on both of them.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you there. If they could just put them all to 7, put the Atlantia, the location, Namora, all these cards. Maybe put Namora's like base power to 4 or something. Then she does +7/+7. I'm with you 100%. But if we're doing just if we're keeping the 5, I think Namor 4/8's fine. I still think he's not going to be in almost any deck as a 4/8, honestly.
So you're probably right, actually.
Yeah. I mean, like, just look at this deck. Like, are you just gonna put Namor? Like, you can't. Like, he's so awkward.
It's true.
He has to be by himself in a lane. It's a really hard condition. Like, he's just a 4/8. Like, it's not good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you're right because like Jessica Jones and Rescue are like pretty reliable 4/9s. So you never want to play them. So maybe just slamming a 4/8 is not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, that's like your downside, right? It's like his 4/8 is, bad scenario. And then, if the 4/13 doesn't get Shang-Chi, that's nice. Yeah, he did something.
Yeah, I guess with no Zabu in the game. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, fuck it.
And Namora's coming out. Like, let's give her, let's let people actually build an Atlantean deck. Again, another archetype that exists in the game that is not playable.
Yeah. All right. You sold me. I like it. I like it. Maybe a 4/8's not the worst thing in the world.
I'd like to see it. Just start,
Yeah. Let me see. Do I have any other? Yeah, I had Namor. Warpath. Just give him +7 power instead of +5.
Mm-hmm.
Let him be a 4/12.
I'm with you there. That's a good one. Yeah.
His condition's difficult as well. He doesn't get played ever, so like just let him have a chance.
Let him cook.
Let him cook. That's it. Yeah, I think those are my only 4s.
I also included.
No.
Oh yeah. Go ahead.
So did I. Go ahead.
Nick Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just +2.
+2, 4/7.
I agree. I think 4/7 Nick Fury is interesting.
Yeah, he can't. I'd like him to be lower cost, but Loki would be OP.
I agree. Yeah.
So. Yeah, I like it. I like him as a 4/7.
Yeah,
let him be a 4/7.
If he's 3, he's cracked in Loki, unfortunately.
And he's a cool card.
Yeah.
If Loki didn't exist, I think he easily needs to be like a 3. That'd be such a cool card at a 3.
I want him to be a 4/7 because he's gonna be played in Arisham decks. Then Oh,
that'd be hilarious.
We're gonna bring out the Nick Fury.
We still might. That's great. Yeah, those are my only 4s.
Mm-hmm.
You have any more?
No, I mean that's almost all my buffs, honestly. Yeah, Nick Fury. I think Agatha should get +4. I mean, but it is a bot deck, I guess, would be the only downside to that. I've said it before. I think Agatha should be a 6/18. I'll just go through the rest of mine because there's not that many.
Okay, me too. Yeah, I'll do that after you.
That's it. That's all I have. Baron Mordo, Nick Fury, Drax, Gamora, Groot. Yeah, Orca, Namor. Yeah. I got all.
Okay, I'll go through my buffs. I didn't have any nerfs because I'm not. No cards really pissing me off right now. But so I'm interested to hear yours. Mm-hmm. So the rest of my buffs are. One of them is a little bit of a rework, which is Adam Warlock. Not a huge rework. Just he draws you a card. He's a 5/6 that draws you a card.
Okay.
Make him a 5/6 and you draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
And just see what happens.
Yeah, actually, that's interesting, right? And
not an on reveal, nothing. Just 5/6, draw a card.
Oh, but it has to be on reveal. It would have to be on reveal, right?
Nope, he just does it.
just does it. Play him
He
into
just does
Cosmo. He draws you a card.
Yep, exactly. He just draws you a card.
Yeah. Actually, because then you can't Wong, right? Is that what you're thinking? You can't Wong?
Yeah, I don't want you to Wong or turn 7,
Yeah.
kind of re-trigger all this stuff. No,
Yeah.
he just straight up just draws you one card. He's a
Yeah.
5/6.
I like
Start
it.
at a 5/6. Maybe if you can buff up to a 5/7 for that.
Mhm.
Legion's a 5/7. That's a pretty sweet effect. Like
Mhm.
you're drawing one card on turn 5. It's not like a huge deal doing that.
Yeah, I like it.
If it was like a 3-drop, then and you draw one card, that's a way bigger deal.
Mhm.
But yeah, just let him draw you one card.
I think it'd be a
That's it.
5/7 with that effect and be fine.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I think that's cool.
Mhm.
Anyways, then I have Kang. I like him as a 3/0.
Yeah.
I know I've heard some other people say that too. I like that idea.
I think Alex Kocha came up with that idea.
Did he?
Yeah, I think so.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I said make him a 3/0 and nerf his animation and make it shorter.
Okay, that's the main. That's the main one for me. Honestly, they should delete the animation. There should not be one. It should be half a second long.
He's
done.
Yeah, he's a buff and a nerf.
Yeah, just please get rid of the animation. Like I hate it. It's cool animation. It takes too fucking long. I hate it.
Yeah.
I think Kang should be deleted from the game. That's my Kang suggestion.
Then I have Black Bolt, a 5/8, or that's just revert him back to a 5/8. I think it's fucking time for that card to go back. Or make Stature a 5/7, which I think the Black Bolt's probably better because the better place to start, and leave Stature to 5/6 because then you have other cards that can reduce Stature.
I agree with Black Bolt. Because when are we just playing Black Bolt? It has to be to enable the Stature. So the Stature is like the payoff, and still fine with the payoff. But yeah, Black Bolt on his own, like as a 5/7, I mean, this is a really weak card to look at. It's kind of like Yondu, right? He's kind of like Yondu. It's like you have to play it with the Zemo, and but it's a 1/2 that mills a low card. Like it's not a good card like Yondu on his own, right? And I think Black Bolt's kind of the same thing, where it's just a 5/7 that discards a random card is not great. So let's pump him up to 8. I'm with you there.
Yeah, get him back to where he was. That's fine. The meta's at a place where it's fine to do that. I think. Okay, so I have 3 more. The one is I think we talked about before. Just make Goliath a 5-drop. I think now with this new effect, make him a 5/7. I think he's fine.
That's a bit spicy, kid.
Yeah, 5/6 or 5/7. I think with his effect that he is now, he's fine at that. You still have to have priority. So
he's a much more interesting card like that for sure. If you could play him on 5.
Yeah. And then I have 2 kind of spicier ones. Giganto.
Yeah. Oh, good call. I didn't think of Giganto. That's a good one.
Because there's so much power creep with him. Make him a 5/12.
Oh, okay. Have to play it left?
Have to play in left. So he's like same power as Hulk, right? He is but you have to play him left. He's got a condition still. Make him a 5-drop. Make him a big boy 5. Make him a big 5/12.
Yeah, they don't really have 5s like that. Like all the big 5s are like Darkhawk, Dino, Ronin. They're all conditional, right? Ongoing. Yeah. There's just no big boy 5. Like let's get it going.
No, that's what I'm saying.
We got Red Hulk. We got Blob. Like we got big boy 6s. We don't we don't need another one. Infinite's in there. Yeah.
No, exactly. And we talked about Orca, and then this one I like too. Spectrum. I think Spectrum's not cutting it at 6/7.
Oh, okay.
Spectrum needs a buff. Spectrum needs to be 6/2 +3 to everything.
Oh,
I'm getting the +3, baby. I'm getting the broken numbers.
Yeah, but for a 6 cost, I think that's fine.
Yeah, and she's I think a 6/2. Start at 6/2, so it's not too broken. She might even be fine at like a 6/4 or something, but
yeah.
A 6/2, like if you're, I think that's what we need to do.
I love that. That's spicy.
Get her out there. Yeah. Play her on a Wong lane. Just really, really ramp everything up.
Yeah.
The Spectrum decks are not there. They're not there yet, There's some that are okay, but they're not there.
This Howard stuff is starting to pop up a little bit. I want shout out to Dexter, Snapster, whatever, on YouTube. He's got a pretty sick Howard deck. I call it Howard the deck. And it's pretty interesting Spectrum build. I mean, but a lot of Spectrum's power right now is just abusing Professor X, which is just a really good card right now, right? So I mean, Spectrum adds to brings it back the old Professor X to 5/3.
Yeah.
So
that
alone is really nice. So if you don't draw Professor X in that deck, it doesn't feel very good.
What do you got for your nerfs? That's all I got.
Okay, so I think that was good, man. That was a good segment, man. We had so many buffs there.
I
Okay,
liked it.
hopefully.
I liked it. Yeah.
That was
We'll
sick.
see if any. We'll see if we hit on any of them.
Yeah, and it's good. Maybe like 3 months from now, these guys will pop up. Who knows, right?
Exactly. We'll remember. We'll remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. It would definitely remember. Okay, so the nerfs. Um, like I said, I went on Untapped. That my criteria was more focused on meta share and win rate combined. So if
Yeah.
some card is like popping off, but
Yeah.
it's only like 2%, then
Yeah.
I don't think it's like in need of a nerf or anything. Like there was Raget was playing his move deck, right? And say 2099 has like a 57% win rate because freaking Raget's playing his move deck and in the
Yeah.
top 20 and just crushing people. I don't think that means we should go nerf 2099,
Yeah.
So I only looked at high meta share stuff, and I originally had all the win rates listed on all our buff cards, but then I realized like all these untapped stats, they're freaking Agatha bots, and they're bringing down all these cards. Like Angel was like 12% because
Yeah.
of freaking Agatha bots and shit. And so I left out, like I was thinking about doing like Martyr and Havoc as like buff candidates, but like no, they're in the Agatha bots, so they don't even count.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
so, yeah, like the Safety Blade deck is doing really well with Havoc, so I don't think that card needs a buff. But anyway, so really high, 10% infinite only for these cards because the shitty cards aren't being played at 10% infinite, so there's no sample size for them there. So you have to
Yeah.
include like a wider range of cards. So high meta share. So the first one I said, which I think is a rework, and I don't know what the rework is, but I do think they need to look at the card Jeff, the baby land shark. I hate to say it, and people get mad at me. He's perfect. He's perfect at a 2/3. Kid, what do you think Jeff, the baby land shark's meta share is right now?
Meta share probably like 45%.
You nailed it. 47.6% meta share. This is the
Yeah.
most played card in Snap. No card should be 50% in fucking decks. This is ridiculous. I love Jeff. The main deck I'm playing right now has Jeff. I'm abusing this card just as much as everybody else. This is the problem with Jeff being a 50% card in Marvel Snap is that it invalidates every other 2 cost in the game. You build a deck and you don't even consider the other 2 costs because it's the same thing with Zabu was doing before, where it's like we got to see what the hell is going on with these 4 costs, but we can't because Zabu's broken. So they nuke Zabu. I think they got to change Jeff. I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think it's an OTA because I think if you move him to like a 3/4, I think he's kind of shit, right?
I don't know.
I think he's kind of shit at 3/4. Personally, I that's what I think.
Maybe he's not. I don't know. Maybe he's good. I don't know.
Yeah, he might have to be. Then 3/5 sounds broken to me. So
No, 3/5 is too broken.
that's way too broken on Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, maybe 3/4, but God, I think you'd make a lot of people really sad if you moved him to a 3/4. So I don't know, man. Jeff, I think they should at least look at Jeff. That's all I want to say. I don't have the answer for that, and this is the OTA wish list. And I think they might need to rework that.
There goes our subscribers, the 3 that we had. Thanks a lot.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
You sick bastard.
This is
For
50%.
the record, I think Jeff's fine. I'm happy having him in every deck.
Yeah, and I don't think he's a problem in the meta or anything. These 5 cards, though, I definitely think they should address immediately. So, Shang-Chi, number 1, 40% meta share. I like your nerf, kid. I think move him to a 5 cost. I don't think we need to overthink this. 5/4, 5/5, one of those two. I think you start at 5/5, honestly. We'll see what happens. And maybe it'll be like Darkhawk. It'll just be like a pretty good card that's at 5 cost, like Darkhawk is at a 5/4. You put Shang-Chi to a 5/5. Do you think that's too good, or do you think it does anything, kid, or what do you think?
I think it's fine. He's minimum of 515. I think you should. Yes, he should be a 5 cost. I think.
Yeah,
but he still needs to keep his same text and everything.
Same text. He's the same release valve. The problem with Shang-Chi is very simple. There's like 10, 15 tech cards in the game. He's by far the best one out of all of them. So he should just be similar in line to the other ones. That way, when you're building a deck, depending on the meta, you choose, what tech card fits your deck better, what tech card fits the meta better, rather than just going to fucking put Shang-Chi like every time because he's just the best one and he's broken. And why wouldn't I just put Shang-Chi? So I don't think it's like, I don't think his effect is a problem. I think it's just his numbers his cost is too low and his power is too high. And you might think 3 power is too high, but maybe move him to a 4/0. Like,
definitely need his effect in the game.
yeah.
And it's either I think you make him a 5-drop or you make him affect both lanes, your lane too.
Mm-hmm.
That way he destroys your 10
Ooh,
cost cards.
that's kind of interesting too. Yeah.
So he's like just only in your lane. It destroys all 10 or more
Mm-hmm.
in this lane.
Yeah, like so it's like a Cosmo kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It affects you too. Yeah.
Yep.
I think we put him at 5. I think it's fine.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think we need to overthink it too much. Like, anyway. That's mine. But yeah, I like your suggestion too, kid. But yeah, so next one. What card do you think, kid, is 38.6% of the meta right now?
38.6.
Yeah, it's
Right now,
basically same as Shang-Chi, basically.
That's as of when?
I think this was latest patch, top 10% infinite. So that's April 10th, I think. So last 2 weeks.
Latest patch.
Last 2 weeks.
Red Hulk.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm like, what card goes in every single deck? Oh, it's Red Hulk. Yeah.
Red Hulk, man. So Jeff 50% of decks, Shang-Chi 40% of decks, Red Hulk basically 40% of decks. I mean, we talked about it last week, or it was on Joe's podcast, Snap Decisions. Yeah. So yeah, man, I think put him as 6-8, but I'm also fine with your suggestion, kid, of you could leave his stats and just go +3 or 6'10 +3, either one.
Yeah.
6'10 +3, 6'11 +3, I think is probably fine as well. Or just move his base power down to a 6'8. That way he has to zap at least twice to be even playable. Because if he's a 6'8 and goes to 6'12, that still sucks because that's vanilla Hulk. And like I said, that's a dog shit card. So
yeah,
he has to go twice. Then he's a 6'16. Is already way better than Giganto, etc. But he's not way over Infinite at a 6'16. Like right now, I feel like he's 23 every time. So 6'8 or +3, easy change. And I think they got to do it, man. This card's ridiculous. Just totally invalidates all the other 6s, just like Shang-Chi totally invalidates all the other tech cards, just like Jeff totally invalidates all the other 2 costs. I think it's a problem. And it, like you said, kid, if we're going to be buffing all these cards and we don't nerf anything, there's going to be crazy power creep in Marvel Snap. This is how we keep it in check. Next one, I think this is a pretty easy one. Honestly, I think Hope Summers, you take a power off.
Yeah, I agree. 100%. She'll survive as a
22.5% of the meta. She's so good. Hope Summers is insane. And but they originally had her at a 3-3, and I think we could put her to a 3-3. I think it's fine.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
Yeah. So
and even with the Red Hulk too, one point I want to make about that is like Jeff and Shang-Chi have been out in this game like basically since the beginning. I mean, Jeff like maybe a year now or whatever.
Yeah.
Red Hulk's the 3rd most played card in all of Marvel Snap, and it's like only been out for 3 weeks. So I mean, what is it? Top 10 infinite, or is it all everywhere?
Top 10%.
Yeah,
but his numbers are like this everywhere. There's Red Hulk's numbers are crazy. I mean, I could pull them up.
Yeah, and so it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
So that's what's the most ridiculous.
Yeah.
But anyways, so him, yes. Hope Summers, take a point off, easy, easy change.
Yeah, I don't think you're gonna piss anybody off. Anybody who's enjoying Angela Hope, like you're still playing Hope in that deck, and you're still fine with a 3-3. You take a 1 power off. It's not a big deal. Kid, you're not going to like this one. All right. But we know that this package is just at the top of the meta right now. It's on the screen right now. It's the Annihilus package. I think 1 power off Annihilus is fair. His win rate is crazy. Like, this card is just ridiculous. And a lot of it, I think, is just because there was 2 or 3 things that were way stronger than him, like Thanos, for example. I think Thanos was kind of power creeping him. But now that Thanos has been brought in line, it's like, oh yeah, that Sentry Annihilus thing was always good. It's still good. It was good before, even during the Thanos. And so I think we could go Annihilus to a 5-5. I don't think we're, again, I think you're still playing it in junk. You're still playing it and you're doing the Annihilus Sentry package. If you want to bring back the old effect, I mean, we can talk about it, but honestly, man, take more power off if you do that. Like,
I was going to say, my compromise would be a 5-4, bring his old ability back.
I personally would prefer that for sure. I love the old ability. 5-4
make him the junk king, but he's really shit to play.
Yeah.
I'd be so happy with that.
Yeah, so he's that, and so people who don't know, he used to send over 0 power cards. Now they have to be negative, so you have to play like a hazmat on your rocks to send it, which is like a lot of hoops to jump through. It'd be nice if he just sent the rocks over, right? So
those were glorious days.
They were glorious, and I don't think he was too busted either. Like I don't think that those junk decks weren't doing that well. it was every other deck that was just playing Hood, Sentry, and Nihilus in a good cards, and with Miss Marvel,
with broken Zabu, broken Darkhawk at a 4 cost.
Miss Marvel.
It was that
15 power Miss Marvel. Yeah, and it's just
with Darkhawk, Rockslide, Korg, and Zabu, they're all 3.
Yeah,
and Shang-Chi.
So 5/4 with the old effect. I'm all for it. His stats. I mean, he's 20% of the meta, but this was before White Widow came out. I looked this up, so it's probably a lot higher now. And his win rate's like
80%.
Yeah, his win rate and Sentry, of course, are ridiculous. But we know that Sentry's not a broken card because Sentry was in the game before Nihilus, and he was not a very good card. So I think Sentry's perfectly fine the way he is. I think he's an awesome card and just a really cool design. And he just needs to be toned down a little bit, I think. And then the last one
before Nihilus, before Nihilus, Viper was a 2-drop too.
Yeah,
and you still weren't sending over Sentry things on. That was not a turn 6 play that was common. Let's put it that way.
No, and you'd play it in those decks, like the old Sentry decks. They did have Viper Carnage, like that was how people played it. It was a niche deck that some people liked, but it wasn't very good.
It was horrible.
Yeah.
I was one of those people that tried it. It was bad.
I tried it too. It was fun though, but
fun when it worked.
Very good.
Bad. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think Nihilus is crazy, and it's fine. I think if you 5/4 with the old effect, you don't kill the card. He's still really good. So, and then the last one is Mockingbird. With the Thanos nerf is massive for her. I definitely think she needs to be at least a 5/7 or a 6 power in the old Thanos meta. But now that we have new Mockingbird, she still feels really good to me. She still feels cracked. I mean, it's just a 9 power. You can't do anything about a 9 power. Like I said, a turn 3, 3/9, you can't do anything about that. Like there's no counter in the game to it because Mobius also comes out on turn 3. So if you get that off, I mean, I just think that's crazy. But she doesn't seem too overly oppressive, but the win rate's still really crazy, even post Thanos nerf. So I think just 5/8 is fine for Mockingbird, and she'd probably be okay. I thought about 6 power, but
6 cost. You mean 6 cost?
Sorry, yeah. God, someone in the comments gonna roast me for that every week. I fuck that up. The comments just annihilate me for that. But,
I think I do too. It's all right.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I thought about 6 cost, but then it takes away like Squirrel Girl, brings it down to a 4. Now you're playing a 4/9. I like that it works with if you draw the Squirrel Girl, if you draw the Mysterio. I think she should be a 3 cost, or you play a Debris, she becomes a 3 cost. I think that's good for the card. I think these cards like Squirrel Girl, Mysterio, and Debris deserve to be like playable and have support because on their own they're not great. Like they need cards around them. So I think a 5/8 Mockingbird is a good place to start anyway. And on the last one, just quick rework. I don't think Loki should reduce costs. I think it's stupid. I think you move him back to a 3/5, honestly, and just make it so he doesn't reduce the cost of the cards. You can even give Collector his little thing back too. Let Collector go crazy. Just make the Loki, remove the line that says, give them -1 cost. It's fucking stupid. Sarah's a 5/4 and has the same thing. Sarah's a 5/4. Okay, why Loki is 4/5? Get that? I have no idea. It's a joke. And I think they should get rid of it.
I love Loki how he is. I think he's fine. Sarah has that text because you build your deck around it. Yeah. Loki, you're not building any deck around it. You're getting random cards.
It's busted. I hate it.
That's great. No, I love that. That was good. You went over a lot. That was pretty sick. I kind of like it actually. So we'll see if any of these changes happen. Who knows? Probably not. But if one of them happens, then big W. And we've been going for almost 2 hours now. I gotta get rolling. No big deal. What do you gotta say to the people?
Kid, I love talking to you, even though we don't have a guest. You're my bro. I love you, bro.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to the new exclusive merch. How can she snap?
How can she snap? Love you too, bro. All right. Peace.